The next one is a pretty big one from Dastil, who says, where will the game go after Shadowlands? Are there any hints? What are your wishes? Thanks for the content. Love you guys. That is a perfect question, and I think it would be a prudent move for us to do a quick little recharge, because I know you would like some more of that licorice peppermint tea, and I'm absolutely freezing. I'd love some too. Okay. So how about we go make a quick cup of tea? We maybe add, 5-10 minutes to the show length.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And we jump back here and do that one justice, because I think that's a pretty awesome question. We are now back. We are armed with a heater.
Yep.
Because I don't know if you saw it on cam, but the chills, there's a certain point about 20 minutes ago where the chills hit me. So now I've got a heater. That's nice. We're armed with the Puka branded peppermint licorice tea.
Yeah, it's so
good.
It's incredible. There's a little bit of peppermint that like you taste in like the sort of the middle of your tongue, and then the licorice taste is like really gentle and is around like the sides of your mouth and like down the back. It is really, really interesting.
Oh, it's so good, yeah.
It is good tea, tastes good, and it's also an experience to drink. Although do avoid too much if you have hypertension, because licorice can affect blood pressure.
What?
Yeah,
stuff, yeah. Oh yeah, that.
Yeah, heart stuff and blood pressure.
Yeah, we so there's a sweet that we love called Turkish pepper.
Yep.
Oh, it is hardcore salted licorice.
Yep.
It's delicious, but I remember both of us, we got 3 bags in, we basically ate all of them in one day because we just love salted licorice, both of us. And I remember feeling weird. Yeah. I don't know if that's what a blood pressure spike feels like, but I felt weird. So yeah, watch out. Yeah. But man, this tea's so good. That's slightly a problem, because I ended up having my GP, blood pressure me, and I am high, slightly high, and I never used to be. So I might just be sort of stress given everything going on, but hopefully this isn't the cup that kills me. So yes, delicious, and it's boiling water. I'm not going to drink it. I just scald my lips.
Yeah, I just had a sip. I was like, oh wait, this isn't tea yet.
Yeah. So,
question about
let's jump into it. Yes, it is from Dastil, who asks, where will we go after Shadowlands? Are there any hints? What are your wishes? Thanks for the content. So, the thing I'll start off with first are there any hints? Yes. Or should I say, yes. There are many, 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 many hints. Okay, where to go? Right. The obvious one is light.
Yes, that's the...
Everyone's picked up on this, Beware of the Crown, Golden One claims a vacant throne, Terralion. So, Terralion has been set up, that there's light mysteries. Then Urel has been set up. We are seeing light stuff happen. Oh, come on, hold this so it's nice and warm. We've seen light stuff happen in Shadowlands with, Denathrius, with, just the whole history of Shadowlands, the Ember Ward. Yeah. So, I think light is... highly likely soon. I cannot tell whether it will be the next one. And I think that is the main thing that's being hinted at. Now, there are other mysteries to explore, like the first ones. They have hinted at there being different planes of existence, right? So I think they directly hinted there being a plane for Titans. The idea of where does a Titan go when it dies. Yeah. So, there is some future where we're going to the home of the Titans, or the, plane of order or whatever. But I don't think that's anytime soon. I think the most immediate one has been set up to be light. That is where Blizzard have characters in place right the hell now that we know. Like characters, Illyria, Terralion, Urel. These are Velen. Remember the Steve Denuser interview. I think, was it Morgan or Steve? No, I think it was Steve who said that Velen, was questioning his belief in the light after seeing Azira and everything.
Yes.
So... if I was a betting man, I would say the light is next.
100% agree.
Based on what they have teased. And light is actually something that I would like quite a bit.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I'd love it.
However,
yep.
If they went and said, hey, this is World of Warcraft, the rear of Azeroth.
Oh, yeah.
And it turns out, we get like some... cool, totally new bit of Azeroth. We've never been there before. Maybe that's where Uldaz is. Remember Mother's output that had some Titan facilities we hadn't been to. So, maybe that happens and it turns out that there is a, some invisibility something or whatever that has just meant that, the people of this continent have been completely isolated and cut off, and nobody knew they existed. And that's why when ships sail across the Forbidden Sea, it turns out it's forbidden for good reason. So that is one thing I would love. Another thing I would love is the World of Warcraft Peoples of Azeroth idea that I had, which was basically just go back to Azeroth and don't actually have the world be about to end again. Because I really think, it's like the Iron Horde are going to invade and kill everyone, and then the Legion was going to invade and kill everyone, and then we almost, destroyed the planet ourselves with our own infighting, and then at the end of that big period, N'Zoth came and almost destroyed the world, and then the next expansion, a bizarre character we've never heard about that actually, it turns out he was responsible for a bunch of the lore, even though we never heard about that before, and he wants to remake the universe. So that's the end of the universe.
Yeah.
And it's like, if the next expansion is, it's the super end of the universe this time. Or, it's the end of the universe, but instead of death, it's life or something else. I feel like it's getting, bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I mean, I don't know what like power creep in Dragon Ball Z is like. And I imagine they're... Yeah, so I've not watched the show, but I remember, you guys being very hyped about it. And just these situations where it's... the levels of power getting so ridiculous. Like, Matt filled me in on, you filled me in on when there was a tournament, and like whoever would lose the tournament in the new Dragon Ball storyline.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Super went immediately from the world ending and like mostly universe ending stakes of like Dragon Ball Z, and then went, by the way, there's like loads of different universes, and it's called Dragon Ball Super because they're after the Super Dragon Balls, which are like precursor Dragon Balls that are Super Dragon Balls of everything. And it just straight up became, so the universe is going to end. Now every universe is going to end.
Yeah.
So it's this massive, like, it is just the next logical step, because going from one universe to the next thing is not another universe. It's the system of universes, or the meta universe.
Yeah. So point now being, that can work for Dragon Ball in that it's a television show that goes linearly. Yeah. Working that into an MMO seems very, very hard. And I think Blizzard really need to realize that they're playing with fire there, and that the more extreme and hard to relate to these threats become, the less players will feel connected to the world, but also the harder it will be for Blizzard to create threats and things that, people actually feel threatened by.
Yeah, you need to pull the stakes down significantly and maybe spread them out, so we're not looking at one villain all the time, but it's a system of villains, or like not even just a system of villains, because they kind of did that. They tried that with Warlords, but like here's the Iron Horde. You take out each of the leaders, but you sort of didn't do that
because they cut it short.
Yeah, because they cut it short. But like an example of that, of just going, spread out and search for clues. There's loads of stuff going on. There's loads of stuff that's being a problem. Could you go like? Sorry, we need to manage our kingdoms for a second. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Right, go solve all these every zone has a problem in it, and then it becomes the whole expansion is just a big questing session, and that's cool or great. I don't know, something like that. But it is about pulling the stakes back down, because like, where do you go? Obviously, we're already at death is about to consume all of the forces of everything. You're like, come on.
It's getting like a little big. So I think ratcheting it back a bit is what I would personally like.
Yeah.
And in a way, the forces of light trying to invade Azeroth, I mean, if that's taking us back to a traditional sort of invasion plot line, if their army comes and defeats us, then we lose.
Yeah.
Then that could make the day-to-day business of a light expansion feel a lot more tangible to people. Yeah. And I think that could work quite well. So I'm going to say light.
Yeah, it's almost certainly light, and I can imagine they could actually combine the two concepts of light and like a more grounded thing fairly well. Depends how much time they give us after Shadowlands, how long we're in the Shadowlands till we come back. That makes sense. Yeah. But Turalian's leading that, maybe either unbeknownst to him or part of his rule, his rule of the Alliance is accidentally instilling all of these like kind of scarlet groups in there, kind of scarlet light groups, where all these fanatical light zealots are actually deeply embedded, and we have to root them out and kind of solve that problem of everyone actually believing the light's a good thing. They could kind of do that instead of going, oh no, Urel's back and she's empowered by AU Zera, and she's really tall and she's going to stand on Stormwind. Everyone hack at her feet for half an hour till she's dead. It's like that. They could avoid that fairly handily by actually engaging with the established light in the world.
Yes.
Because I mean, obviously you've got Tauren, you've got humans, you've got basically most races have some connection to the light in some way or the other. So if they actually subvert that to make very big like cultural damage to the idea of like what light is, then that could kind of fit both of having us solve small problems and also a big alternate universe Army of the Light problem at the same time.
I think that actually could be done in a really good way where you could start it off actually feeling quite small and personal, and to do with Azeroth, like as you said, there's stuff going on with these Scarlet Brotherhood people, and
why are they stronger now?
Yeah, why are they stronger now? So there's all these little things going on, right? And we have the powerful light characters of Azeroth, some maybe even being against each other, right? Maybe a Velen and a Turalian have a falling out because Turalian's more of an extremist and Velen is a bit more wise. And then, you could build that stuff so that your patch 9.1 is, or 10.1, whatever it would be relatively small. Your 10.2 would be, a bit bigger, but still very much something that compared to where we are now is a small Azerothian conflict. And then 10.3 is Yrel coming in at the head of the AU Army of the Light with Zira shining behind her, and then we get a humongous calamitous final patch. I think something like that could be a nice progression that could give us what the epic conclusion that we maybe would expect from WoW expansion, but then while giving us that exploration of the re-exploration of Azeroth. Maybe in a way like it's what I liked a lot about Mists of Pandaria, where actually Pandaren culture felt like a culture. I'd love more time in that. So
that would be amazing. I mean, I'm trying to think of any other ideas for expansions, but you kind of have the whole list of things, and then we've got the list of cosmic forces, and then we've got the choice of no cosmic force, which kind of just will be Azerothian. So it's not really too much. The only question in my head is how fast will they barrel through these? When will they kind of see the writing at the end of the writing on the wall of we've got 6 forces, we can't just blast through them or we're out in 6 expansions time? Or will they do anything interesting? Like, will a light expansion actually be a light v void expansion and have us kind of split down the middle, or character split down the middle? Not necessarily us players, but having like character split down the middle of which side they're taking here and there. So it's like they might play something like that, but fundamentally it's going to be the next one's going to be light related almost for sure, and then we don't know.
Yeah, it's either light or a mop-like surprise. And you can't see it coming. So there you go. And I think there's actually a lot of great shit there. And if it is a big, it's the end of the world, but this time it's the void, but actually and all the old gods have risen, that would just have enough cool factor that I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, that would feel good because we've been played.
Yeah.
Because we're like, oh, okay. Threat's done. A break through the wood. Like,
we cannot go further into the Cosmos next X pack because it will start to get so heady and so disconnected from the literal world of Warcraft, which is Azeroth. There's other places we go, but Azeroth is the world of Warcraft, to a lesser extent Draenor, because that is the story of our peoples.
Yeah.
And that is the core of this world.
Yeah, it has to come back before we go off on another adventure.
So there you go, Dastel. I hope you enjoyed, and wonder what your favorite expansion or idea is.